All right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Jas Shelton, ShareGrid interview, take 1 mark.
So Jas, thanks so much for sitting down and talking with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming over. I'm happy to do it.
Yeah. So I love your story. I love kind of where you came from and how you started off in film school and moved out to LA. And just give me a brief background, how you got started in film.
I got started back in Texas, where I'm from originally, and I was always interested in photography and film. This is pre-internet day, so the information on what it is and how to get there and do these kind of things wasn't available. So it's kind of like, do it yourself, figure things out yourself. But I was interested in film and photography. I was also a musician, but I went to the University of Texas. I had a friend there who was in a band and they needed a bass player. But also somebody in the band was also in the film program there, and which kind of caught my curiosity. And as they were shooting their student films, I started, getting involved with them and helping them shoot their films. And because I had, a pretty extensive photography background, started shooting quite a bit of these student films on the down low, kind of in a rogue fashion, kind of outside the system.
Graduated film school. Did you move out to LA right away?
I did not. Once again, I was in Austin, Texas at the time, and it was before the tax incentives and all those kinds of things had started. So there was quite a bit of activity in Austin. Like, it was considered the third coast. There was like 2 or 3 features going on at one time, and I had come out of film school, but I also had worked, kind of outside of film school already on a lot of independent projects, even independent features. So, I knew how to put a C-stand together, and it was busy. So, I was able to jump into the feature world there in Austin at the time as a lighting technician.
So what brought you out to LA?
Well, this is actually kind of speaks to the third market in a way, because, you're right, Los Angeles and New York are kind of the production hubs, and you can, I think, forge out a career as a technician in these other environments, but I think it's hard to transition to go like to a DP or even a director or something above the line in those markets. And so I was in Austin and I was very busy, but I quickly realized all the DPs that I was gaffing for, all were coming in from, at the time, from Los Angeles. And I'm like, if I want to, pursue a career as a director of photography beyond what I'm doing here in Texas, then I think it necessitates, being in either Los Angeles or New York. And when I first got here, I was pursuing shooting, but I also had, over the course of having worked on these movies in Austin over the last 4 or 5 years, had forged quite a few relationships with gaffers and some DPs and things like that. So when I moved out to here, I was able to call on these people and say, hey, I'm in town, and it wasn't easy, like there was a period where I would actually go back to Texas pretty regularly to work, to do a movie or a commercial, to make ends meet. So it took a bit to, even as a lighting technician, to establish myself here in Los Angeles.
So it sounds like you built relationships in Austin, use that to kind of get your foot in the door in Los Angeles.
Absolutely. And I think there were two. There was Phil Badger, who was love and actually gaffs for me now quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Super talented, amazing gaffer. And ironically, I had worked with him in Austin, and he had moved to Los Angeles, been out here for a couple years. And I think the first weekend I was out here, I was at the Rose Cafe in Venice, and I happened to run into him. Wow. Which was actually, I'd probably been out here for about a month at that point in time. I had not worked a day. And so when I ran into him, it was like, a blessing.
I did that with you and other friends, right? I met you the year before I was an intern.
Yeah, you were still,
I think, in school. We had coffee at Starbucks in Studio City.
In Studio City, right up here at Universal. Mm-hmm. And then we put you to work for free and beat you up and spit you out, and here you are.
Exactly. But I think that's important too. I think even fresh out of film school or even now, I still do free work.
Yeah.
If I like it, right?
Absolutely.
If you like the script, if you like the creative, if you like the person that you're going to be collaborating with, there's no reason to not take those jobs.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say so. And you pick up little nuggets of wisdom as you go from other DPs. Yeah. And I remember Wally Pfister one time saying, always take the free jobs. And I was like, wow, that's Wally Pfister telling, us to take the free jobs, which is kind of amazing.
I mean, there's a line there. I think.
Of course.
I mean, some people get abused, and we hear those stories too. And I've taken those free jobs that I've regretted.
And even not just free jobs, but like, smaller jobs and smaller movies or commercials. And like like, I really want to work with this person, or I really like this script, but it's the decisions become more heavy, for lack of a better word. Or, if you take some serious consideration, whereas, before, 8 years ago, it'd be like, oh, fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go shoot this, let's go do this,
Yeah.
So
You're not,
there's a levity to it now that's a little more.
Yes. Have you ever, my dad uses this phrase all the time, and I love it, and it's very common. But have you ever faked it till you made it? Like, have you ever taken a job that maybe you didn't know the camera, or you didn't know, it was a little more than what you think you can normally handle, but you just took it because it was a good opportunity?
I feel that way about every job. I'm not kidding.
Really?
Like, I swear to God, you think at some point you get the level of confidence. It's like, you know what, I can do this. I feel like every single goddamn job, it's like, excuse my language, I probably shouldn't be doing that.
That's fine.
But I feel like every job is like, there's some element of it, which I think is part of the fun of doing it, is the unknown factor.
The challenge.
The challenge, because as you know, every job's different and has different requirements, both creatively, technically, and always. So I always feel like I'm on unstable ground.
Yeah.
Which I've always thought at some point you would arrive and get to a point where I don't think that happens. I don't know. Maybe at least for me it doesn't.